Hello everyone, this is Matt from Real World Review, and today I want to show you how I was able to get this for free. Well, technically, hold on. Well, technically, this was free, but this is the Sony FX3. And this is a camera that I have wanted for a while now. And as you can see, I'm actually recording myself, which is pretty funny. There you go, f1.8 at 85 millimeters. And that is 4900 Kelvin. Either way, what I would like to tell you is how I got the base camera for free. And the way that I did it is not that simple. No, I didn't steal anything. But let me tell you how I got this while I try to assemble this, because I'm not great at looking at the camera. Ultimately, a very long time ago, let's just say 2018, 2019, I had a bunch of Best Buy gift cards. And well, technically I had a few iPhone 7s that were having some issues. They were able to be traded in, but they did have some issues. So I took them to Best Buy and I traded them in. And I used some of that money to get, cables and stuff for my computer and stuff like that, because they had USB-C cables for 20 bucks and it was 2 meters for 100-watt charging cables, and they're Apple made. They were really good cables. They are still really good cables. Those are ones that I actually recommend from Apple. I don't recommend the regular cables, like the regular iPhone Lightning cables, but those are actually really good. And now it's a little bit different. It's not as difficult to get those anymore when it comes to like an aftermarket or a third-party company. But ultimately, I traded those in to get some Best Buy gift cards, and I don't like to spend money when it comes to that. I do this weird thing where I end up just saving a bunch of money so I can buy one large thing, and I did. I actually ended up buying 2 monitors with that money, and I ended up returning those because I didn't like the monitors. So for quite a while I had over $200. I think at some point it became like $300 or $400, just because during Christmas and during birthdays some people would buy me Best Buy gift cards. I honestly don't know why, because I don't really go to Best Buy that often, but they would buy those for me, and eventually I just had a decent amount of money, maybe like $400 or $500. Then I decided to just keep stacking it up. And there were some situations where I got some computers. I wish I had the exact documentation for all of this, but I literally had a MacBook that was worth like $500, and Best Buy would trade it in for $700. Maybe it was $100 difference or whatever. Either way, I would not only be having the convenience of just taking it into the store to trade it in and get money. Now, obviously, I'm not getting money. I'm getting gift cards, so I can't really use it like money. But if I ever planned on buying something from Best Buy, then I could do that. And that's exactly what I did. So over the years, I kept buying and selling stuff, and sometimes, I would spend $300 on something and sell it for $400. But other times I would spend maybe a little bit of money. Like, for example, I ended up getting a MacBook for free. Somehow I bought the screen for $250, and I was able to trade that in and get $700 gift card wise. Sure, I paid $200, but I got over $400, I think like $450, $460, whatever the exact amount would have been. I got over $400 in credit that I could spend. Well, now this is assembled. That was pretty quick. It was only 2 screws, honestly. I didn't really rig this up that well. But either way, then the next thing that I did is I just kept them. And for a while after, getting some of those computers, I was just getting gift cards so then I can buy other things. Like, for example, I did actually end up buying the DJI Pocket 3 right after it came out. And I remember at that time I had maybe like $1,000 of gift cards to spend. And I ended up buying that. It was an awesome camera. It kind of sucks, honestly. It's kind of like a tablet for me. Like, I like using it, but I don't have times where I do use it that often. Like, I did actually film a video on here and it worked. Maybe it would have been better on an iPhone, but it definitely took up way less storage than what it would have on an iPhone. So I actually enjoy using it when I can, but I don't find situations where I can. Either way, I ended up returning that. There was problems with SD cards and everything, and I was just being cheap. Instead of buying other SD cards for $30, I just decided to return it. And I got all that money back onto a gift card, and I just kept the gift card. So that was late 2023, and what's actually funny about that is I spent like $650, and now that camera's worth like $900 if you buy them new because of the tariffs. It's pretty awesome. Or, I'm sorry, tariffs, whatever they want to consider it. It went up 30%, even though tariffs went up 100% or 25% or whatever they want to say it is this day, this week, whatever. Either way, I had all that money back on multiple gift cards, because at this point, when you trade in a device, you get one gift card. You can't really stack them. And I actually learned you can't even combine them. All you can do is use that to buy a product and then return the product and get all of that back on a gift card. And it's only on $500 increments, which may change because I had a gift card that had over $1,000 because I traded in something that was worth $1,000, and they just don't do that anymore. So I had a gift card that was so old that the policy that they have now wouldn't even allow that gift card to exist. So that was essentially 2018 to 2023 is when I was kind of slowly stacking these up. Then in 2024, I was buying phones, I was buying tablets, I was buying computers, whatever it may be. And if it was something where I could sell it and get $200, or I can trade it in and get $150, I would take that $150 because, one, if you sell on eBay, that's immediately 15+% gone. Then you got to pay for shipping. Then you got to hope that it doesn't get returned or that person doesn't try and scam you. Whereas trading something in, yes, I have to use my ID, but these aren't scam products. These aren't bad products. These are ones that I've tested and made sure that they're good, traded them in, and there's no issues. And if there are any issues, they'll tell me that, which I never have that issue. But if they do, they will let you know, and they will decline your trade-in, essentially. So I ended up getting another $1,000 to $1,500, something like that. Ultimately, it was a little under $3,000 by the end of last year. And then during Christmas, I would ask for that, and that helped a lot. But I was ultimately about $500 away, and I had a few devices. I had an iPad that was, I think, like $300 for trade-in. I had another one that was worth $360, but it was like a $200 more iPad. Like, I could sell it for $500 at least. And then I had my iPad Pro, which I did a review on here, which I got a good deal on it, so I'm not going to trade that in, but that would have essentially bridged that gap. I also had this iPhone, which I was about to trade in, and I'm so glad that I did not trade it in, because this is a 6.5-inch screen. Yes, it is not a monitor. It is, something that would be loosened up. It is something that technically another monitor would fix, but I don't want to spend $700 on a monitor. Not right now, at least. It doesn't really make sense to me to spend that much money on something that may or may not be a little bit better than what this is capable of doing. So I didn't. I ended up, that was weird. Funny thing about this is actually, this little red thing is a cold shoe, and I have the cold shoe right here, but I don't want to break it by having this heavy thing on here. So I have these two mounts right here. Then there's this little NATO rail, and I have the cold shoe going into the NATO rail. Yeah. Either way, I didn't want to trade that in because $540 for an iPhone 15 Pro Max that is literally new. Like, it's swapped from Apple. It's a brand new device, essentially. I didn't want to trade that in. Apple will even take it right now for $650. So $540 wasn't even a good deal. But what ended up happening is every once in a while, they'll take off 5%. Probably not now because of the tariffs, but they will take off 5% off the sale cost. So the Sony FX3 was $3,899 or $98, depending on who you ask. But every once in a while, you'd have Sony, B&H, Amazon, and Best Buy that would give you discounts of 5%, which was about $200 off. Now, at this point, after trading everything in, with that $200 discount, I was $60 away. That was a little bit frustrating because at this point I decided to make this video right here explaining how I got the FX3 for free, because I didn't come out of pocket any money technically. I will get to that. I'll show you the receipt right now, this is what it looks like. And yes, I did end up paying, but I got that money back. Actually, now that I think about it, it wasn't $100, it was $175. The $100 comes in later. So what happened is they had the 5% discount, and I had less than $200 away, and I was thinking I'm going to trade in one of these devices, and then I'm going to end up ordering it. And then they got rid of the sale. Now, it's back to $3,900, which is not something I want to do, because now I have to sell one of these larger devices to make that price, because that $170 now became almost $400. Another aspect that happened is I had a bunch of these gift cards. I had, I think, like 18 gift cards, and I had to go into the store, buy a Sony FX3 and return it so that I can get those gift cards that had 100, 200, 50, whatever, right? I had all of those gift cards, and I traded them in so then I can get under 10 gift cards, because you can do 15 in store and only 10 if you do it online, which is where I was going to order it. I was either going to order it online or I was going to order it in the store. I did end up ordering it online. I was going to order it because I have family that lives in, and I ended up having them ship it over. But the reason why I was relying on those discounts is because, again, I wanted to make this video and say that I got it for free, which I did, not coming out of pocket at least. So what happens with the FX3 is every once in a while, maybe on other cameras as well, I would say after about a month and a half, they will drop it down 5%. That'll last for like a week or two, and then they'll bring it back up to the normal price. So now I just have to wait for that drop to happen. In the meantime, I had an iPhone 11 that was 256 gigabytes that I wanted to trade in, or I wanted to sell, but the trade-in was like 80 or $100. I don't remember exactly what it was. I just knew I wanted to sell it to someone, so then they can actually use the device. Because sure, it's an iPhone 11 and it was locked to AT&T, but it's 256 gigabytes, and that's a pretty good amount of storage to just go to waste for $100. I did end up getting that phone for like $5, and then I threw a screen on there, so it ended up costing me about $25 just to get that phone. So regardless, I would still be making money per se, but I just wanted to sell that device for a better reason. Obviously, trading it in and selling it, I probably would have made like 30-40 bucks more selling it, but trade-in was an option. So I ended up waiting another month. So March 30th or March 31st, they had a discount, and that discount became 8%. So they took off $300 as opposed to the normal $200 that they normally do when they do these discounts. The $300 is not an insane thing. It's not something that has never happened. It has happened before, but more often you see that 5% discount. So I thought, perfect. I think it was like $70 left is what I needed. So I said, screw it. I took that phone, I traded it in, got that $100 or $80 or whatever. I think it was $80. And then the next day, I ordered the camera. The issue was Best Buy didn't have that discount yet. And I was waiting for them to have the discount, but then I thought, you know what? I don't know if they're ever going to have the discount. I don't know if these other places are going to stop doing discounts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of their price guarantee and see how well that works. So I go to order the camera, and here's where it is technically not free. I go to order the camera online, and it still shows the full price. I contact customer service, and instead of putting a special version in the cart, they tell me, order the camera, and then we will process a price guarantee, because on Amazon it was this cheap, on B&H it was this cheap, on Sony's website it was this cheap. I tell them where the pricing is. I tell them on Amazon, B&H, Sony, all these things that they accept and that they will allow for the price discount. I end up ordering it. They say, okay, we're going to use the Amazon one. I go, cool. I don't care. I don't care what you're going to use, as long as I get that discount, right? They process it. I think they tell me like the reference code or something like that to let me know that it has been processed. I believe I got an email as well. I'm not entirely sure, but they let me know that that was being processed. Yes, I had to pay the full price, so I had to put the rest on my credit card. But I also got a credit back on my credit card for that exact amount of money. So I got my money back. So yes, I technically did pay up front, but I was reimbursed. So still free. But it doesn't end there. Later that day, I get an email saying, sorry, we can't cover the price difference because it's on Amazon. So I go, okay. I contact them and they tell me, oh yeah, because it was on Amazon and it's a different seller, we won't cover that. But it's sold by Amazon. So I go, okay, whatever. I don't really care about that. You guys cover B&H, you guys cover Sony. Can you check one of those? And I believe they used either B&H or Sony. I don't remember exactly. But they end up using one of those and go, oh, okay, we'll process it again. And then that's how I eventually got my credit. We're not done yet. It is shipped to the location. It takes about a week, but it finally gets there. They go to pick it up. They put it in a box that they're going to send other stuff with to me. They ship it out. I get insurance on it. Everything's good, right? It tells me it's going to be delivered, I don't know. I don't remember. I think it was like Tuesday. Out for delivery. Cool. I had it shipped to where I work, which ironically they show up at like 8 to 10 in the morning, and that's not when we're open. As soon as I see that it's out for delivery, I go to work. So I go there, and I'm there before we open. I'm there during when we're open, and I'm there after we close. So I am thinking, okay, when is this going to show up? And I look, and 1 minute before we close, I look at the tracking and it says, business not open. We were. I had the open sign on. I was short of leaving the door open. Everything was showing that we were there. So, okay, it's USPS. They're going to deliver tomorrow, right? So the next day, I check the tracking. No change. Saying that it's going to be delivered tomorrow, as in that day. No change. Okay, so I guess this would have been on a Wednesday. Then I'm starting to wonder, when is this going to show up? So I go in that day, on Wednesday, in the morning, because I want to be mean. No. So I go there and I tell them, hey, it wasn't delivered. Normally they tell me it's held at the post office. I want to see if I can pick it up. They ended up telling me that it is on the truck for delivery, but it's not out for delivery, which I don't understand. And normally I don't care. But this is a camera that I not only got a discount on, I got insurance on the amount that it's worth, but I can't get it at that price anymore because now it is back to almost the $4,000 price. And with tariffs, I doubt it's going to go under that. Not to mention the FX3A, which came out, which kind of annoyed me, honestly. But then we have that. So maybe it'll work out. Maybe it'll be out for delivery. So then that night, it never delivers. Nothing happens, right? Like I stay until 8 o'clock, essentially. No delivery, no nothing. So then Thursday, I go to the post office, and I go, what's going on? Why is this not being delivered? My thought process is, okay, if this is on a truck, and there's a bunch of other things that are on that truck, if they don't get delivered on one day, they just stop being delivered? And everyone's just okay with that? No, they have to continue going on. And there was no holiday or anything like that happened. This is just like a normal box. There's nothing crazy about it other than what's in it. I didn't understand that. I go to the post office. They tell me, oh, this is the main branch is actually over here. You need to go here because we're not able to see it. Then I go to that one. And the funny thing is the guy that was there on Wednesday that I talked to was at the main post office on Thursday. So I'm talking to him kind of like embarrassed because I was being slightly passive aggressive, like, where's my package, as pretty much everyone would be, I would assume, at that point. And I talked to him and he's looking it up, he goes to the back and everything, blah blah blah, and I'm waiting and he comes back and he's talking to the guy on the phone that is delivering it, and it's the same guy that I normally see whenever he delivers stuff in the morning. And I'm telling him, like, hey, like, he recognized, like, he knows who I am. And I'm like, hey, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Like, I'm literally, exactly where I am right now. I'm going to drive there right now and I'll be there. I get there, I see him, go to the truck, he takes it out, and he told me that they just put that package on his truck today. And he was gone yesterday. So I'm really confused where that even went. And the only reason that I was like freaking out is because I wanted to get insurance because of the value of the camera, but I was concerned because most people will say don't get insurance because then you have a higher chance of it getting stolen, which doesn't make sense because, I mean, it's a post office. Essentially, stealing mail is a federal offense. And grand theft, I mean, come on, it doesn't make sense why people would do that. Not to mention, if it was a post office person stealing it, they have crazy good benefits. There's no reason for them to want to steal something, even if it's worth that much money. But either way, I was freaking out and stressing out for a couple days. I know, first world problems. But finally, I have this here. And that is how I ended up getting this camera for free. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if that is technically clickbait, because while I didn't come out of pocket any money, obviously getting those gift cards was not free, and it didn't, it cost people money as well to give me those gift cards if they did give me any of them. And then the stuff that I traded in, obviously I didn't get that stuff for free. So technically I used gift cards, but saying that it was free sounds better. What is that, guy math or girl math or whatever, that if I didn't pay any cash up front that it is free? Either way, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you see more videos that are filmed on this, because I do want to start using this for channel work, not just for work that I do outside of this. And in spirit of that, I am filming on the Canon R7. And this is apparently 24 millimeters, but it is a crop, so whatever 24 times 1.5 is, that's how many millimeters, f2.8. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm glad that I can finally explain this whole story, because this has been going on for, I mean, this has started over years ago and technically started getting more serious about a year ago. And now I finally have this. So Sony is going to release the Sony FX4 soon, not the FX3A, which kind of is annoying because I hate this screen on this. And the FX2 just came out, or is now on pre-order or something. I don't really care about that one though. I care more about a sequel to this. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Join the 1% if you haven't, and as always, thanks for watching.